Good evening, everybody. The teams have just emerged from the tunnel ahead of Belgium against Canada. It's my second game of the day for the World Cup. It's the Group F encounter between Belgium and Canada. I did Morocco and Croatia earlier, which finished goalless. Let's hope this one doesn't finish goalless. And I'm delighted to say that I have got a trusted right-hand man alongside me for this match. He's none other than my friend Paul James, and he's normally with JB, but he's come across and come to help me today. How you doing, Paul? You okay?
I'm well, thank you, Ross. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Thank you. Looking forward to this game. What are your thoughts ahead of the match then, and how do you think the game's going to shape up? And what's your prediction for the game
Well, it's
tonight,
certainly
Paul?
exciting for Canada. Having not the last time they were in the World Cup was 1986, they didn't score a single goal. But now here they've got, in my opinion, a much better team. And my prediction today is going to be a tough one for them because they're really going to be having the work cut out handling Kevin De Bruyne. I actually think Belgium will win 2-0.
So 2-0 then to Paul for Belgium, and some of you may remember, you may have seen a photo on Facebook as well that you may have seen that when I went to see some of the women's Euros matches, which were held in England, I actually met up and had my photo took with the Belgium men's manager, Roberto Martinez, when I went to see Belgium play at Waltham United's ground, and had a photo took. Really nice bloke, and good luck to his side today, and good luck to John Erdmann's side as well. We'll go through the starting lineups in just a second, but before I go through the starting lineups, I'll just go through the officials for you today for this game this evening. Jenny Siwaka from Zambia, the referee. He's assisted by Yerson Emiliano dos Santos from Argentina and Orseno Miguela from Mozambique. The fourth official must be happy with the Japan result earlier. Sorry, Paul, for mentioning that. Yoshimi Yamashita is the fourth official. The reserve assistant is Nezu Bak from Brazil. Juan Soto is the VAR from Venezuela. And then the assistant VAR is Nicolas Gallo from Colombia. The offside VAR is Macrain Guari from Algeria. Massimo Irati from Italy is the SVAR, and the S assistant VAR is Abdullah Elachi from Algeria as well. Well, the national anthem have just finished down below us. We're now going to have a look in a second to give you the all important team news and then get the thoughts of Paul from both sides. We'll look at the Belgium side first, which we'll go and have a look at in just a minute or so as we get ready to see the game getting underway in just a second or so, which we'll just have a look at in a second when they pull the graphic up on the monitor in front of us, and I've got it in front of me as well. So we'll run through the lineups in a second, and we'll give you how both teams line up. What I will tell you is that Eden Hazard is the Belgian captain, and they line up with a 3-4-3, and it's Thibaut Courtois between the sticks for Belgium. It's a back three of Dendoncker, Alderweireld, and Jan Vertonghen. It's a midfield of Castagna, De Bruyne, Witsel, and Carrasco. And then up front is Tillemans, Batshuayi, and the captain, Eden Hazard. And what do you make to that Belgian side today, Paul?
Well, it's a very strong side. You've got Hazard, Batshuayi, and De Bruyne. All can inflict a lot of damage. This is a very strong team, even without Romelu Lukaku. Yuri Tielemans up there, we've seen him in the Premier League. We know what he can do. So Canada are going to have their work cut out today.
They are indeed, Paul, as we just see the officials there getting ready with Eden Hazard, who's the captain, and he's going to be joined by a bit of Hutchinson, who's the captain of Canada, who's going to come across now and share the hands of Eden Hazard. I've just seen Eden Hazard say all the best to him, as we just see the officials on the screen just there as well. Yanis Izweka from Zimbabwe, the man in the middle, along today in Canada is kicking off the game today. Looks like with Belgium kicking the way where they've just been lined up. There's Juan Soto from Venezuela and his team of assistant VARs in their little office. As we now get ready to tell you through the Canadian lineup, it's a 3-4-3 for them, and they line up with Borjan between the sticks. He's a back three of Johnston, Vittoria, and Miller. Is a midfield of Oilert, Hutchinson, Zwector, and Laurier. And the three up front is Buchanan, David, and Davis. So what do you make to that side from John Erdman of Canada then, Paul?
Well, I'm surprised they've left out Kyle Larin. He was the leading scorer in the qualifications. He's also hit 25 goals in 55 games, but he misses out. Jonathan David as well is very dangerous. He's got 22 goals in 35 games. We all know about Alfonso Davis. I mean, he's very effective. Anybody that's seen Bayern Munich, Borjan in the goal as well has been outstanding. He's had 4 clean sheets in the qualifying stages in the last 4 appearances of the qualifying stages as well. And he has currently won, I think, 3 league titles in a row at Red Star Belgrade. Like for like, if you were to compare the two teams on paper, you got to think it's going to be Belgium. But we've seen a lot of shocks so far, so you never know.
That is correct, Paul. You never know. And we saw a shock earlier today as Japan beat Germany by 2-1. We saw Argentina get beat yesterday by Saudi Arabia 2-1 as well. Could Belgium be shocked by Canada and lose by 2-1? We'll find out as Canada have got the game off and underway then, and they're going all the way back to their goalkeeper Bojan, who clears it out to this right hand side, this left hand side, should I say, to Miller, who plays the ball into the midfield area where was Hutchinson the captain, and now he's back with the goalkeeper for Canada, Borjan, and they play the ball forward, get the force of Poland the opening few minutes of the game so far, but it is Alfonso Davis who will play the ball back into Hutchinson and back into his centre back partner Vittorio, who plays it out wide to this right hand side, and that's a good control there. Back to his one of the other centre backs, number 2, Johnson, and he gives the ball away to Bashwine. Bashwai goes for an early strike on goal, and that's a decent effort from Mitchie Bashwai, with a poor mistake from Canada. Almost led Belgium in to score there, Paul James.
Yeah, they've got to concentrate better than that. It was a poor giveaway. Fortunately, the shot took a deflection and bounced kindly for Bojan.
And here's Euler now on the left hand side of the penalty area. Into the box, pulled it in to the penalty area, cleared away. He's helped away by Castagna. On this first, Alfonso Davis. Davis coming up to the edge of the penalty area, cuts inside. Look to line up a shot, but we can't get a striking on goal there. So he's played out to the right hand, right hand side and Lauria. Out wide to Johnson, who was guilty of giving that ball away, and then Lauria gets sitting again inside the penalty area. Lauria still going, pulls the ball back to Sketto, can't get a striking on goal, and Belgium just defending, can get away with it here. He's back to Victoria, and Canada having a good bit of possession there and a good chance early on, a couple of efforts blocked. So it's been a good start to this game, Paul, hasn't it, really?
Yeah, it started off at a very fast pace, and what you'll notice about Canada is that they will press. They will press, and they are very quick breaking out. So Belgium have to watch that.
They will indeed, as they almost got caught on the ball again, Belgium, but they've come away with it with Eden Hazard, the captain, to play to his team. As he's Aldevireld, who was the Tongan, who's gone down under a challenge over there, which the referee said no more there too, and that was from Buchanan, and a bad challenge there by Buchanan, and on 2.5 minutes gone. It's still Belgium nil, Canada nil. As we just see that effort again from Mitch Why? But that challenge there from Buchanan wasn't it? Was it quite a nasty one there, really, Paul?
Yeah, it was late. He was lucky not to go into the book for that. I think the referees are trying to keep the cards in the pocket, but that was a very late challenge by Buchanan.
Yes, and we've just been given a stat here by one of our fellow contributors and colleagues, Nicholas Jones. I bet Hutchinson was just 3 years old when Canada were last in the World Cup, and now he's playing in the World Cup, captaining his country. That's a big achievement for him, but we'll come back to that point and see what you think about that, Paul, in a minute. As Buchanan's up against Carrasco, and he wins his side of throwing, which he leaves for Johnson. So we'll come back to that point from Nicholas in a minute regarding the Canadian captain as the Canadian gets a throw in and he's put it out of play as the Canadian captain. What do you make to that comment there from Nicholas, which is said, and I'll just read it again to you, Paul. A bit of Hutchinson was just 3 years old when Canada were last in the World Cup, and there must be some achievement for, and you must have might have known about that, Paul. But what do you make to that bit of history and between brilliant statistic there?
Well, it's nice to see he's obviously worked very hard. It's you never get to this level by not working hard and not being good at what you do. You earn your way to the World Cup, and Canada have had to do that. In that World Cup that Nicholas is talking about, I mean, they did have a pretty tough group. Soviet Union, they were quite good back then. France and Hungary were in that group. They didn't manage a goal, so we'll see if Canada can better themselves this time round.
We will as that ball come towards Jonathan David there as he went out of play for a throw. There was a free kick to Canada as well for a foul by Michi Batshuayi, which came to nothing as well. 4.5 minutes gone here. Then it's Belgium nil, Canada nil, as we've just seen a photo there of the Belgian manager Roberto Martinez, formerly of Wigan and Everton. He won the FA Cup with Wigan Athletic, the Roberto Martinez, and he's done a fairly good job with Belgium as well. We'll get the thoughts of Paul on Roberto Martinez at Belgium and his managerial career thus far in a moment as Castagna makes this throw in into Eden Hazard and back to Castagna, but he's out of play for a throw to Canada. What have you made to Roberto Martinez's managerial career so far, Paul?
Well, he's done a wonderful job. He was obviously very unlucky in the last World Cup, and he's also been in charge of more games than almost any other Belgian manager. He ranks as second in the history of Belgian football as being the, I don't know how to phrase this, the second most number of games in charge. I think it's the way I'm going to phrase that.
Yes, and good thing. That's a good position to hold from Roberto Martinez as he looks to watch his Belgian side try and come forward. Is with Yuri Tillemans into Witsel and back he goes to Toby Alderweireld, the former Tottenham player, onto another former Tottenham player and a colleague, Jan Vertonghen, who clears the ball down that right hand side for where Canada attack. They're left for the Belgians, and Canada have just won the ball back brilliantly there through Usketo and on to Laurie, who pushes over Carrasco, but no free kick given there as the Canadians come forward in towards the penalty. Comes towards Jonathan David. His shot is blocked and he's behind for a corner. And that's a good bit of pressure there from Canada and a good move down the right hand side there, Paul.
Yeah, like I said, they will get forward down both flanks, and they will press, and they're very quick on the break. And this is where they might this where might be, where there might be an Achilles heel for Belgium defensively with Canada breaking out so quickly.
Yes, and it'll be interesting to see how Belgium defend this corner then. Thibaut Courtois, the Real Madrid and the former Chelsea goalkeeper, standing tall between his sticks at the moment, just a few yards away from his line as he watches this, about to watch this corner come in from the right hand side. He's going to be whipped in right footed, and he's going to be found by an effort there towards goal by Buchanan. Appears for a ball in there by a couple of three Canadian players. The referee's not giving it VAR's not. I think the VAR will be checking it as we speak, but nothing given by the referee or anything just yet. We'll be interested to see what Paul thinks about that. We'll come ask Paul about that in a second. And the referee's just been told the players to stop. I think VAR checking for a possible penalty here.
Well, let's take a look at this because the way I saw it, it hit his back. But I'm just going to take. I'd be interested in just having another look at this
And the
myself.
VAR and the referee has been an official penalty for Canada for an amble in the Belgian penalty from Buchanan's shot. We'll wait to see what happens here. We're just going to look at it here. We have a look here, and his hand is out,
Oh yeah.
by
That's in an
Carrasco, and
unnatural
he hits his
position.
hand actually there, Paul. If you look at this again,
That's a penalty.
he hits his
That's a
hand there,
penalty.
and he's in a natural position from Carrasco. That must be a penalty for Canada there.
Well, if you look at it, Ross, the
He's
key
going
is
in
he
towards.
moves his arm out. He moves his arm out. He doesn't have his arm out and it hits his hand. He moves his arm
Yes,
out.
he's going to
That
now.
for me is a
He's giving a
penalty.
penalty to Canada, and he's giving a
Yeah, I'm not
penalty, Paul.
surprised.
He's a penalty to
Yeah.
Canada, and that's a definite penalty. And Canada could have a chance of got a chance to take a lead, and there's a booking there for Carrasco for that ball, which now means the pressure will be on. And I wonder who's going to take this one, Paul. We'll have a look in a second about
I
who's
would
about to
suspect
take
David, but we'll see.
this penalty. Paul thinks it'll be Jonathan David who will take the penalty for Canada to try and put Canada 1-0 up. I think it is Jonathan David wearing number 20 for Canada. Thibaut Courtois got to stay on his line, and he's being told that right now. Can Canada take the lead here through Jonathan David from the penalty spot against Belgium in Group F of the World Cup
Actually, I think
after
it's
just
Alfonso
9.5
Davis, Ross.
minutes? After, yes, I think it is Alfonso Davis. You're right there. I can see Jonathan David just on the edge of the box. It's Alfonso Davis, the Bayern Munich player who's done very well for Canada in recent years, and has done well for the Bayern Munich as well. As Alfonso Davis steps up, and he's saved by Courtois, back to Davis, and David fires it over. And it's a save there from Thibaut Courtois, and a chance for Canada goes back in. Alfonso Davis has seen his penalty save there. It was a definite penalty, but the save there from Thibaut Courtois is fantastic. I'm going to have a look from behind the line, see if he came off his hand. I'm not sure if he did or not. Let's see what Paul James thinks.
Well, first of all, I think it was a poor penalty. There wasn't a lot of power behind it, and he didn't get it in the corner. He didn't come off the line. His actual foot was behind the line, but it was a poor penalty, really. And that's a golden opportunity for Canada. They can't afford to miss them.
Yes, a golden opportunity then, and Paul Riley pointed out he didn't come off his line there, Thibaut Courtois, and Canada, golden opportunity wasted from that penalty spot. And so unlucky. They've started this game well, and let's hope their edge don't drop now, Paul, after a good positive start and a right start from the Canadians.
Yeah, I mean they'll look at that as being that's the closest they've ever had to a World Cup goal. I think I think Canada are professional enough. They've been there before in qualification games. They've fallen behind before and come back. I don't think they'll let this bother them, but they can't afford to miss chances like that.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. And Yannick Carrasco, the first player of this game going into the book early on for an handball when Buchanan's shot were heading towards that top corner and looked like he was going to go in, but the effort there from the penalty spot from Alfonso Davis was saved as Buchanan again, the player just attacking Carrasco, and they're looking to cause a few problems down Yannick Carrasco's side or Canada, and they're looking to cause a few problems at every opportunity that they get. And then to the penalty, this time the shot goes wide from Laurier, and he dragged it well wide in the end. Never troubling Thibaut Courtois, and Canada just having another look at that penalty save. He was right, Paul. He was behind the line. Well, that was a poor chance wasted by Laurier there after cutting inside to the penalty area.
Yeah, obviously Courtois guessed the right way, but again, though, I'm really impressed to mention positivity for Canada here. Really impressed with the way they've started. They've pressed Belgium in these first 12 or 13 minutes. They look the better side.
Yes, it's Jonathan Davis just had a shot blocked. He's still in there. Shot comes in, but it's offside in there against Canada. But the offside is raised against Buchanan, I think it is. And I'm just looking at this again. He is offside. He was offside there, Canada, the Canadian player Buchanan, but and also I think it wouldn't have been a penalty because the Belgian player, I think, which I think was Jan Vertonghen, had just won the ball there, so it was never going to be a penalty if he wasn't offside. So, but unlucky there again from Canada, they're causing Belgium a few problems early on, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised they should not be surrounding the referee in this way and complaining. The decision has been made. They don't want to talk themselves into a yellow card. Canada cannot afford to have any players suspended going forward if they want to get out of this group.
Yes, and you've seen the stats come up on my monitor here. One attempt for Belgium so far, 7 attempts for Canada. It's been all Canada in this opening 14 minutes of this game. Is Belgium nil, Canada nil. Canada with a missed penalty. Romelu Lukaku not involved today for Belgium. He's out through injury, and he could be proved to be a big miss. Okay, so he will not be involved today for against Canada. And that could prove to be a big miss for Belgium, but we'll have to see how that plays out, and hopefully he'll be fit enough to play in the next matches coming up for Belgium in the World Cup. As we see Belgium just passing the ball around to the back, and there's ball looking for Timothy Castagne, can't keep the ball in play down this right hand side for Belgium. This near side of the right as Belgium attack, the left as Canada attack.
John Herdman, he is the only manager to have taken a men's team and a women's team to the World Cup.
Brilliant statistic there from Paul James, bringing out some of the stats for you that you may not know about this Canadian side. As opposed over the top, and he's inside the penalty now, which is Junior Oilert of Reading. Junior Oilert into the penalty, goes towards goal and finds it just wide. Belgium looking for a flag against Junior Oilert, but he was just onside, I think, and he did really, really well to get in there. Junior Oilert, he could have tried to find in Jonathan David, but he said he went all on his own and dragged an effort just wide. But another chance for Canada there, Paul, and they're causing quite a few problems.
Yeah, they're causing mayhem in that Belgian defence. They don't know how to handle this right now. The thing is, these chances coming and they're going. They've got to take these chances. But Belgium at the moment are struggling defensively.
They are struggling defensively, and I'm not sure if this back three for Belgium is helping Roberto Martinez's side. As another clearance from Thibaut Courtois being given away, but Belgium have got the ball back as Eden Hazard, their captain and talisman, tries to fetch this team forward and up to over halfway. He's out wide now to Timothy Castagne. Down the line looking for Yuri Tillemans, his Leicester teammate. He's out of play for a throw by Miller there. Kamal Miller just played it out of play for a throw, which was taken quickly by Dendoncker. And now he's with Jan Vertonghen, now wide to Carrasco, who's inside to Eden Hazard, the Belgian captain, currently at Real Madrid, formerly of Chelsea. And that's a free kick for a foul by Johnston. Well, by Johnson, and that's a poor challenge there again. And he'd be looking to go into the, be looking not to go in the butt there, Alistair Johnson, in if he's not careful.
Yeah, it was reckless, wasn't it? Behind, nowhere near the ball. Got to be smarter than that. Right, you can't go through the back of a player like that.
Absolutely no chance there. Castagne now gets the ball back to Alderweireld, who will look to play the ball forward, but he finds Yuri Tillemans will come short for it. Tillemans with the ball forward, looking for the run of Michy Batshuayi. He's had a play for a throw, which Tillemans will take back into Dendoncker, who normally plays in midfield for Wolverhampton Wanderers, but plays as centre back for Belgium. Can play centre back though, can Leander Dendoncker. And that's where he's playing tonight as part of a back three, along with Toby Alderweireld and Jan Vertonghen. So, a current ex-Premier League player, and two ex-Premier League players in that back line, as is another current Premier League player in Kevin De Bruyne coming forward. He's trying to pick out Carrasco, when he really should have gone there for Michy Batshuayi, Paul, and that would have been trouble for Canada if he'd have gone the opposite way there.
Yeah, the wrong decision by Kevin there. But he's already storming through the midfield. He's been fairly quiet early on. That's the first time he's really got on the ball and done something with it.
Yes, and he made the wrong choice though with that pass there. And this morning he'll have probably heard the news this morning that his club manager Pep Guardiola has signed a new contract at Manchester to keep him with the club till 2025. And while we're just watching the ball being knocked around here, Paul, we'll just got a question to ask you. I know I spoke to you about this off air earlier after you did your game earlier on today, and it was I said I was going to ask you today while we just watched you. We'll come back to that point in a moment. As here comes Castagna to play the ball down the left right hand side up to Michy Batshuayi, gives the ball into Axel Witsel, and now Eden Hazard will collect, and inside the centre circle, just inside the Belgium half, and now into the Canadian half, and goes down, and there's a free kick to Belgium, foul on Eden Hazard there, and it was by Buchanan, and there's a bad challenge there. The question I was going to ask you, Paul, as we just go to watch this free kick from Belgium, which will just ask you quickly in a moment after this free kick stick, which is we've just taken it quickly. Every time I just want to try and ask you the question, Paul, the game seems to speed up a little bit, and we'll just watch this attack from Belgium, and then you know all the questions, you know which questions coming there, Paul, so you'll have your answer ready,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And we'll just ask now while Toby Alderweireld is going to the back, unless he makes this move quickly for Belgium. The question I'd want to ask you then, Paul, is the which has been the shock result for you so far in the World Cup? Was it the Saudi Arabia game against was beating Argentina yesterday, or was it that Japan versus Germany game earlier? Which one has been the best? Which one's been the shock for you? And also, people listening, which has been the most shocking for you? Was it the Argentina game yesterday, or the Germany game today? Let us know which one you think, as we just see the ball go behind for a goal kick to Belgium after a Canadian attack through Johnson down that right hand side.
Well, for me, it's the Argentina and Saudi Arabia game. Germany have been on decline for quite some time now, and today it made me realise that this is possibly the worst German team I've ever witnessed in my life. And I'm in my 40s now, and I've never seen a German team this bad. Argentina going into the tournament was on form. They won 15 games or 14 games, I think it was, in a row. So this was a massive, massive shock for them. So I would go with Saudi Arabia beating Argentina.
Would you agree with Paul there, guys? There's no your thoughts can get them in the live chat if you want to. If you listen on JB Sports, the Commentary Hub 2, and also on our Twitch channel as well. But you can also tweet us at Commentary Live 1 and let us know what your shock of the round is so far. Is it the Argentina getting beat by Saudi Arabia or Germany getting beat by Japan? I'll try and read some of those out during the course of the evening as we see Carrasco with possession for Belgium. He's up against Laurier, who's been committed a foul against him there, and now he's back with Toby Alderweireld. And there's got some more live games coming your way tomorrow. We've got all of the games coming for you coming up this tomorrow and Friday, and hopefully over the weekend as well. Nicholas is doing a game tomorrow and a game on Friday before he has a well-earned rest after his work every day this week, including Sunday, which we'll come back to in a minute. As he's using his edge of the penalty area for Belgium. In towards Michy Batshuayi. Michy Batshuayi shoots and is blocked there brilliantly by Miller, and he's over the top and behind for a corner there to Belgium.
Superb tackle. Excellent piece of defending. Um, and it was recognised as well by the goalkeeper. You saw his reaction there. Batshuayi there, he's got time. He's perhaps a little slow in shooting, but that is a really, really good block.
Fantastic blocking. As I was saying while we were just watching the replay again, the Nicholas has got a well-earned rest on Saturday after working so hard over this past few days since the tournament started. He has covered every single game, whether that's been a commentary or presenting. And he will get to well-deserved rest as Kevin De Bruyne plays his corner in and he's headed away by the Canadian defence. I think that come off Vittoria, who cleared it away, is Oiland now, and Oilet trying to flick out Jonathan David. Courtois comes to clear away. Chester, Chester down there, well by Canada, and here's Oilet again. Oilet goes back and he's out of play for a throw then to Belgium, right in front of John Erdman there, who was barking out some instructions to his Canadian side. And with 24 minutes on the clock here, Paul, who do you think would be the better and happier manager so far in the game?
Well, I'd say John Herdman. He's seen his side look good going forward. They've created chances. They've not taken them yet, but they've certainly made Belgium very, very uncomfortable. Very little has been created in return by Belgium, with the possible exception of Butchawai's effort there that was blocked.
Yes, and now Belgium are on the attack again into the penalty area. He's in Hazard. Hazard doing well and he's forced wide and he's out of play for a throw to Belgium, I think it is. Yes, gone to Belgium, which Carrasco will come across to take. And he goes back there to Jan Vertonghen into Toby Alderweireld, back inside the Belgian half is now Dendonker, back into Alderweireld and now to Vertonghen, just on halfway, just inside, so enough, now Carrasco inside the Canadian half, and there's a foul there on Eden Hazard by Johnston again, should I say, and that's a poor challenge there, Paul, in the end, and Belgium are starting to create a little bit more than what they have done in the past few minutes as we see this ball over top to looking for Castagno and he just goes out of play. But Belgium are trying to cause a few problems of their own in the last few minutes. They're starting to get more into the game, Paul James.
Yeah, they're starting just to pull down a little bit and bringing Kevin De Bruyne into the game because I think he's the key for Belgium. Bringing him into the game, his creativity is amazing. Canada need to watch their tackling. There's a bit of a lack of discipline right now. Some of these fouls are in positions where they don't need to take fouls like that.
Yes, absolutely. As Canada have now got the ball back again. He's Alfonso Davis, who looks to cause quite a few problems, and he's coming forward again now, away from Castagno, and he's got the ball back on the edge of the penalty area. Alfonso Davis sets up Buchanan, sets up the captain Hutchinson, and he just sliced at it there, and he goes wide. And that's another good chance there for Canada, which goes begging Paul James.
Yeah, another chance, and it's you want to be hitting the target from there. He's got a clear shot at goal right on the edge of the D, and for me, they've got to start taking these chances because Belgium will punish you.
We've seen what Belgium are like in previous tournaments, and we saw what they were like in the Euros. Just got to the third place playoff in the European Championships and did well in some of the other tournaments as well in recent years. Got to the third place playoff in the last World Cup as well, where they just beat England in that one, which was France against Croatia in the final that day. And could Belgium fall to another show defeat here? They're not doing well at the moment, Belgium. They're trying to get a few free kicks now to try and disrupt this momentum for Canada. And I think there, Paul, Steven Skirter was a bit unlucky to give away that free kick. He looked as though he won the ball there for me.
Let's have a look at this again. I'm not sure on that one. At the end of the day, though, they're being penalised for a lot of. Actually, maybe he did. Maybe he just got a touch before he caught the player. But they're still giving away a lot of free kicks, and they're going to end up picking up yellow cards. They don't want to be losing their key players. They're not a deep squad in the sense of talent, with all due respect to them.
Yes, this is Alfonso Davis, who plays the ball back to his centre back partner Miller, and then he goes back to the goalkeeper Borjan, who clears out wide to Johnston. Johnston down the line it goes, and good touch there from Jonathan David over the top to pick out Laria. Laria into the penalty area. Puts the ball back looking for Junior Oilert as Castagna came across there to defend well. Jonathan David is across there to try and keep the ball in play for Canada and keep them on the front foot, and he does so well. Gets the ball again. And now Laria on the edge of the box into Jonathan David, who goes down. No free kick. He's still coming now for Canada into the penalty area. Still going. He's back up now, Jonathan David, as the ball is cleared forward and goes straight to the Canadian goalkeeper, Borjan. And now Canada will come forward once again. Almost 29 minutes gone in this game. Belgium nil, Canada nil, and they're playing some good football and playing a really good high-tempo match. As the ball is away from Johnston. Down the line it goes. Well, and Johnston coming forward again. Johnston coming forward. Lovely one here from Johnston. In towards the penalty. It goes down on the edge of the box. He's surely brought down. He's still going. Johnston's shot is saved. It's surely going to be another penalty to Canada. It's going to be a penalty there for me. We'll have a word with Paul James in a moment, see what he thought as the ball is cleared away. And that should be a penalty for Canada to me. The referee's not giving it. They are not checking it just yet. And with the ball back in defence with Miller, we'll see what Paul James has to think about that now in a moment, because Canada have just got possession back with Alfonso Davis, who just looked the ball around well. Ball back over the top here. We'll have a look on the replay in a second as Buchanan has possession right on this left-hand side, attacking the penalty area. Still going Buchanan into the box. He goes, but the ball is cleared away out of play for a throw to Canada. And that should have been another penalty there for me, Paul James.
Well, he might have been just outside the penalty area. Of course, if he was on the line, that's supposed to be a penalty. But he might have been just outside. I would like to see it again, just to be on the safe side. But he might have caught him just outside. That might be why VAR, they might have looked at it, but not actually communicated to the referee.
Yes, it looked as though it was on the line to me, and that's why I thought it should have been another penalty. But the play will continue as the ball's over the top here. Wonderful chest down there. Here's for David. Shot his ball by Alderweireld after Buchanan found him. But Toby Alderweireld makes another vital block to stop Belgium from going behind in this game. And Belgium are not having it all their own way at the moment. Canada are giving them an hard task here this evening, and it's still 0-0 between Belgium and Canada. 31 minutes gone is Asso Witsel on possession to Tielemans. Now into Den Donken. Now into Alderweireld. And across now to Vertonghen. And now Kevin De Bruyne, who will have to go back to Jan Vertonghen. And now Alderweireld, who plays the ball looking for Timothy Castagna, and he wins the header forward onto Batshuayi. Turns away from his man Batshuayi, but fantastic defending by Miller. And now Canada can come away with possession as Alfonso Davis running down the left-hand channel. And there's a slip there by Tielemans. And Davis plays the ball in field towards Oilert. Oilert gets there just ahead of Eden Hazard. Junior Oilert has still got possession. Ball towards the penalty. Jonathan David with the header. And he's just wide in the end. And Jonathan David with another good chance there. And another good chance there for Canada, Paul James.
Yeah, well, he just wasn't able to get high enough to get his head over this ball. But again, chances keep falling for Canada, and they got to take one. And I really like the way that Canada are playing. They're being very positive. They're pressing. They're really making it hard for Belgium right now.
Yes, as I buzz in towards Michy Batshuayi, whose effort goes wide in the end. And Batshuayi caught it on the art volley. Didn't really catch you cleanly enough there. And that effort went wide. He just didn't catch it, but then he ran into Miller and went down to Batshuayi. But there's no free kick for Belgium or Canada there. I think the ball will go out for a goal. The ball went out for a goal kick, and we see some Canadian fans just watching their team out there, and they've got across in some good numbers across away behind the goal away to our right hand side. There is a ball's headed away by Toby Alderweireld and he's out of play for a throw then to Canada, which will be taken by Johnston, who will look to get forward. Buchanan is there looking on as he's received the most balls in between the midfield and defensive lines with 13, Laurier with 7, and then Michi Bashwai has received 6 of those from in that areas. Alderweireld gets it back to Thibaut Courtois, and the ball is cleared up towards halfway. And away by Hutchinson, and it's flicked on there in the end by the Canadian striker Jonathan David, who can't get a teammate involved in possession, but is Eden Hazard now for Belgium, just inside the centre circle, just over the halfway, inside the Canadian half, and he's tries to pick out Timothy Castagne if he can keep the ball in play, which he can't, and he's behind for a goal kick in the end to Canada, and another Belgian chance goes wasting there, Paul James.
Yeah, they tried to catch Canada out there. It nearly worked. If the ball was better, he would have been in there. But as it happens, the pass was just a bit wayward. Belgium just trying to get themselves back into the game. I think they've definitely been surprised in the way Canada played. I wouldn't say that they've underestimated them or not respected them in any way, but I think they're definitely surprised at how quick Canada have been pushing forward, pressing them back, also catching them on the break as well.
Yes, absolutely there, Paul. I would completely have to agree with you there, my friend, as we watch the goal kick played forward there by Canada's goalkeeper Milan Boran. And now Bashwai goes down as Yuri Tillman tries to go on the end of the ball. There's a bad pass there, which almost put the goalkeeper under a bit of pressure from Stephen Vittoria. With the goalkeeper there, Boran did well to get back to stop it from going behind for a corner or even going into his own goal. As Alfonso Davis just plays the ball well into the path of Zaguetio, now into the path of Vittoria. Vittoria will come forward. He's out wide and then into the path of Johnson, and now back it goes to Vittoria. Across now into the path of Miller. Alfonso Davis twisting, turning away from Timothy Castagne inside the centre circle. Plays it into Johnston. Johnston coming forward in towards the penalty, looking for the winner Buchanan. He's headed away there well and breaks into the path of Belgium, but they lose out, and then Canada can't keep it on the edge of the box with Jonathan David, and now Castagna just keeps the ball. Carrasco just keeps the ball in play, should I say, over on that far side, and now it's back with Toby Alderweireld, and Belgium will try and come forward once again from the back. Just under 10 minutes left of this first period to go, then plus stoppage time, and we'll try and get Paul to guess how many minutes of stoppage time there will be end of this first half very, very shortly. As we see Den Donker in possession for Belgium into Toby Alderweireld and across now to Jan Vertonghen, who will just keep the ball moving for Belgium and play it forward. He's a flicked header forward there, but Belgium just tidy up. Can't get the ball forward, and Canada just tidy up well, and they've got it back in the defence there with Victoria to Miller. Miller now into the path of his teammates there, and that was a square turn into David, and now Laurier. Laurier just coming in field. He goes back to Esquerto. Out wide again now to Johnson. Esquerto again into Hutchinson, who does well to play the ball out wide for Johnson. Back into Hutchinson. Down the line to Laurier. Laurier into the edge of the penalty area. Right hand side into the box now. Goes down under the challenge. The referee says goal kick. I'm not sure if the referee's going to wait for VAR here. What do you make of this one, Paul James?
I feel he might have been muscled over. I don't think he was fouled. Let's have a look. No, there's nothing in that for me, Ross.
No, there ain't nothing in that for me either. And I think VAR I've come to the same conclusion as me and you have, Paul. Nothing was in that, and it's going to be a goal kick to Belgium, unless they're just still waiting on VAR. I think I'm not 100% sure. They're still waiting. I think VAR is still checking this.
I'll be
Yes,
surprised if they give a
and
penalty
VAR
for
are
that.
checking for another possible penalty to Canada in this game, and I'm not sure it is going to be a penalty. We'll wait and see what the VAR says. Let's see what Paul James has to say about that one.
Well, if it's the incident we've just looked at and they give that as a penalty, I think it's time to shut down VAR. They're still looking at it. Why? Here's the thing, Ross. VAR was there for clear and obvious errors. If it's taking this long to check something, it's not clear and obvious.
The play's back underway, Paul, so I can tell you they've come to the same conclusion that me and you did. No penalty for Canada that time around. As is now is Kevin De Bruyne in possession, but it goes back to Toby Alderweireld and now Jan Vertonghen. And Vertonghen plays it to the left and Carrasco. And now back to Vertonghen. Now Courtois. Then Donker. And now the ball is here forward, picked up by Alphonso Davies. Alphonso Davies will turn away from his man and come forward. And gets away from his man again and gets a return pass there. And ball in towards the penalty area looking for Junior Oilert. Is cut out and is out for a throw to Canada as they try and end this off. The better of the sides, which they've looked better of the sides overall for me as well.
I just wonder whether Belgium are going to slip into a back four because Canada are having a lot of joy on both the flanks. And Belgium don't seem to be able to deal with the crosses coming into the box. I just wonder whether they might slip into a back four, Belgium, at least in the second half.
Yes, and I think if they were to do that, you'd probably see Timothy Castagne go to right back, have then Donker and Alderweireld as centre back, and Jan Vertonghen at left back, because Jan Vertonghen has played at left back before for Belgium and played left back before for Tottenham as well when he was at the Whitehall Lane in the Premier League. So he has played that position, and Castagne has played right back for Leicester. But he's also played left back for Leicester, so he could even go across to the left. And if they were to fetch on the defender to change it to a back four, is Tillemans into the path of Den Donker across now. Excuse me, to Vertonghen as Witzel picks up possession into Toby Alderweireld, and Alderweireld will find in Den Donker, and Den Donker will look to come forward into Alderweireld, and now on to Jan Vertonghen, who will just keep hold of possession. And now here is Den Donker across now into the path of Vertonghen, and now is Carrasco. Good bit of play from Yannick Carrasco. Now it's Toby Alderweireld who play the ball over the top, looking for the run of Timothy Castagne, and he runs straight through to the hands of the goalkeeper, Borjan, who chests it down first, but now collects it up. And with the game coming first off, coming almost to an end, we're almost into the 42nd minute, we'll try and get the thoughts of Paul James in the second once this ball is either out of play or away from the Canadian goal, which we can do that now. And Paul, the closing stage of this first half, what have you made to the first half overall?
Well, I think John Herdman's going to be very happy with Canada's performance. They really have created opportunities. They've looked a threat going forward, and they've really, really made Belgium work. For Roberto Martinez, I think they've had chances, Belgium. They've tried to get themselves back into the game, but they are being caught out down those flanks. So I might be interested. If it was me, and it's not me, but if it was me, I'd be perhaps wanting to settle on a back four.
Yes, well, let's see if Roberto Martinez has got the same wavelength thinking of our man Paul James, who was alongside me for this match this evening. Is Belgium nil, Canada nil, almost 43 minutes gone of the contest and of the first half as well, as Belgium will try and come forward just before half time to try and get the goal that they need to take the lead. Both teams need to go to take the lead incidentally, as he remains goalless. Successful goalless means it means 0-0. Awaiting our first goal, and could also use. And there is a bit of good news regarding England ahead of their game against USA on Friday. And Harry Kane, who went off with went down with an ankle injury, then limped off in the game against Iran. I'll come back to that point in a minute. As Michy Batshuayi opens the scoring for Belgium. And that man just changed the half-time team top for Canada. And Belgium take the lead. A ball over the top, and it's Michy Batshuayi who has finished it off well. And it's Belgium 1, Canada 0. And that goal has come against him in the play there, Paul James.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was a simple ball over the top that caught the Canadian defence out there. It's a beautiful finish by Batshuayi. Look at this. The ball is over the top. It just catches the three Canadian defenders out. They're caught flat-footed, and Batshuayi is very, very quick, and he slams it past Bojan. But the Canadian defenders fell asleep there. That's a shame because that's a bad time to concede. The ball over the top, and the three defenders were caught ball watching there, and Belgium take the lead.
That they do, Paul. They take the lead indeed. And as I was just saying regarding Harry Kane, he is trained today for England after an ankle scare, and he looks as though he may be fit to play against the USA on Friday, which is a big boost for England. And I must tell you, this goal for Michy Batshuayi today is his 27th goal for Belgium, and it's a fantastic finish. And you've got to say as well, Paul, with that goal from Michy Batshuayi, it came over his shoulder, and he just watched it all the way over his shoulder, and then just struck it in. We're just stoppage time now, Paul. I'll wait to see how many minutes he's going to be added. How many minutes do you reckon is going to be added on at the end of this first
Oh,
half?
I wouldn't be surprised if they picked 9. It's embarrassing, this whole stoppage time thing. There was 8 minutes in the Costa Rica and Spain game. Costa Rica were 5-0 down. Let it die. They're not going to come back and win 6-5. It just seemed, and there's no time wasting by Spain. They've no reason to time waste at 5-0 up against Costa Rica. And I'm just hoping that sanity is restored in some way here.
Yes, we're still waiting to see how many minutes has been added on at the end of this first half. Wait to see how many minutes that is, and we've got where now that and it's almost come up to the end of the first of the added minutes, and we've got 5 added minutes here, Paul, at the end of this first half, and I'm not sure why
Whereas,
we've got these 5 minutes from, unless you've got that time on for the VAR stoppages.
well, there was the
And we'll come back to that
referee
in a
went
minute, Paul.
on.
David into the penalty area, looking towards Junior Oilet, and he's cleared away, and now for a throw to Canada.
Yeah, there was about a minute's check on the first VAR because it was fairly obvious. The second one, there was maybe 2 minutes. There's not really been any other stoppages besides that. There's been no injuries.
Yes, and then you've got to, and then you probably, I know that goal you've probably been given beforehand, and there's been, like I said, there's been no time waste or anything by Canada or Belgium, and it's got to be. I'm scratching my head trying to work out why there's 5 minutes of stoppage time. If anyone knows why you can think there's been 5 minutes of stoppage time added on, you can let me know. As the ball comes in, and Buchanan, a big chance there for Canada, and it's over the bar in the end from close range. And that's a good chance there for Canada to equalise right on just before the half-time interval.
Well, they're not taking the chances, Ross. They're not taking the chances, and they're 1-0 down. This is, you've got to hit the target from there. Like, you're 7 yards out, you've got to hit the target from there.
Yes, absolutely. You've got to at least test Thibaut Courtois there, and that's what the Belgian goalkeeper didn't get done. He wasn't tested there, as he was a fantastic bit of plays. Belgium 1, Canada 0. If you're just tuned into us here on the commentary, we're also live on JB Sports and Storm FM, and also on the TC Hub 2 as well. And there's still time for Canada to get back into this game and change this game around. Will they get back into this? and change his scheme around. We'll have to wait and see as Kevin De Bruyne trying to play the ball through to his teammate there, which I think was Michy Batshuayi going through. We couldn't find him and he was cut out there in the end as Belgium just see the ball go behind for a goal kick. Or, is it, or it could be a corner, I think, has been given here. I'm not couldn't quite see which one it was given, which way he went to. There's Belgium. It is a corner to Canada, and Belgium could cause themselves a few problems here because Canada have looked dangerous on set pieces, especially on corners. Should be interested to see how they go on with this one in a minute or two. We'll just wait and see what happens with this corner. See if they can get back on level terms before half time. Canada did have a penalty saved if you're just joining us as well. The shot comes in, it's headed away by Tillemans, and he was up into there from Tillemans as well. Back out wide to Alfonso Davis, who had that penalty saved for Canada. He's on the edge of the penalty, on the right hand side as Canada tried to come forward, but Carrasco did well to get the ball back and feed him Eden Hazard. And now Kevin De Bruyne is away down the left hand channel towards the edge of the penalty area. Comes towards the edge of the box and he's just behind Eden Hazard, who gets the ball now, and then Canada gets back to get the ball away for them. And it's Johnston who helps to get the ball clear, and he's headed out of play. And it's a Canadian throw, and this chance again from Escoda hit the arm of Yuri Tillemans there. Pierce Van Bob, but that was never going to be given as a penalty there for me, Paul James. What did you make to that chance?
Well, he's got his arms tucked in nice and neat there, hasn't he? I've seen them given, but I wouldn't give that as a penalty. It was fairly close. Um, he's trying to get out of the way of it, actually, I think.
Yes, and Canada just, as the half-time whistle goes, then they trail by a goal to nil thanks to Michy Batshuayi just before the half-time interval, and Canada can feel themselves unlucky to be a goal down. They've played some good football in that first half, and Belgium were lucky to be in the lead, and we're interested to see how the second half will unfold. But Belgium lead by a goal to nil at the break. As the teams walk off the field, they'll just get the final thoughts from the first half from Paul James.
Yeah, bit unlucky for Canada. They've created a lot of chances. They've put Belgium under sustained pressure for a lot of this first half. Unfortunately, though, they've not taken the chances. And as Germany will tell you from earlier on today, when you don't take your chances, you get punished.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so then at half time, then as we leave you for 15 minutes, it is currently Belgium 1, Canada nil. We'll be back in plenty enough time for the start of the second half. Welcome back to the second half coverage here on the commentary between Belgium and Canada from the Group F of the 2022 World Cup. The teams are getting ready to come back out of the tunnel. I can see, I think that's one of the Belgian players there. I'm not sure which one it is, just putting a mask on their face. Some of the Belgian players in the tunnel, I can see Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Toby Alderweireld, just there talking amongst each other. I can see De Bruyne and Hazard talking to each other just ahead of the second half. And we'll wait for the teams to come back out in the second half to get underway. PJ, what have you made? What do you reckon both managers will have said to each other in the change room at half time? And start off with the Canadian John Hurd. What do you reckon he would have said to his side at the break?
Well, I think he would have had to have kept it positive. I mean, yes, it was a defensive lapse that caused the goal, but on the whole, Canada have played very, very well. I think he'll want to talk about being more clinical in front of goal in taking the chances. But I think he'll be overall very happy with the way that Canada have played. I think what he'll be saying to them is, look, you've got to take your chances, but keep doing what you're doing. The goals will come.
Yes, and if you look, and then if you flip it on the head, Roberto Martinez, he'll probably know his side got lucky going into the break, leading by a goal to nil, especially with Alfonso Davis missing the penalty in the first half. But what do you reckon he would be saying to his Belgium side going into the second half as Belgium make a double change at half time as Carrasco and Tillemans both come off, and coming on for them is Thomas Meunier and Amadou Onana coming on for them. So there's a double change with Carrasco and Tillemans off, Onana and Meunier coming on for Belgium. What do you reckon Belgium will be saying? And what do you make to those two changes, Paul, as well?
Well, the two midfield changes, so I would assume that Roberto Martinez is looking at his midfield and feels it just hasn't been up to scratch. Now, there have been overrun in midfield with Canada breaking out so well. So this I'm not surprised to see. I have to be honest. I suspect he'll want a little bit more strength in the midfield, a little bit more speed in the midfield. Onana's only 21, so perhaps he's thinking that he wants just a little some younger legs in the midfield.
Yes, as the second half is underway, then as Belgium, as I just said, make two changes with Thomas Meunier and Amadou Onana coming onto the field of play, which will be interesting to see how Belgium shape up for the second half with those two changes. So we'll run you through the two teams now, starting with Belgium. It's Courtois in goal, the back three then of Dendoncker, Alderweireld and Vertonghen. It's midfield four of Castagna, De Bruyne, Witsel and Meunier, and then a three-man up front of Onana, Batshuayi and Hazard. And Eden Hazard, remember, is the Belgian captain. We'll run you through the Canadian side in a second. As I said, no changes for them is Boyan between the sticks. Then they've got Johnston, Vittoria, and Miller across the back from right to left. A midfield of Oilert, Hutchinson, the captain, Squirter, and Laria in midfield. And then up front is Buchanan, David, and Davis. But as you pointed out to me before kick-off, Davis has been playing more of a left wing back role, but has been getting that bit further forward as well on that left hand side. Do you think that something that could change, which may change in the second half?
No, I think Alfonso Davies has had a lot of joy down that left-hand side, breaking forward and creating chances. I think both Davis and Laurier have had a lot of joy, so I think that will continue. And obviously, Belgium, with their substitutions, I think are probably going to want to be looking to prevent that now.
Yes, and there'll be Canada have made no changes at half time. Are you surprised by John Edmund not making any changes at half time, or is that something you would have expected going into this game, Paul?
Yeah, not really surprised, Ross. I mean, they've played very, very well. Like I said, one defensive lapse is what's cost them. Currently, the way that Herdman had set up Canada to play is working very, very well. So I think as long as they continue in that manner, then he'll probably keep it as is.
Yes, it's Amadou Onana just giving her a free kick there. There was a push on Alfonso Davis in the back, which the referee saw, and now Canada's trying to get in behind Castagno on this right hand side. It looks like they have made a change to the side with Munier across on that right hand side, Castagno on this left, and going to a sticking with a back five. But as the ball comes in towards the penalty, it's Jonathan David who heads just wide after a wonderful ball in from Esquerdo, who couldn't take his and David couldn't direct his header on target, and that's another great chance for Canada, which goes wide there, PJ.
Yeah, another great chance goes begging. 8 yards out. You want to be hitting the target from there. You want to be making Courtois work. Because despite the chances, Courtois hasn't made that many saves, or not really any of significance apart from the penalty, of course. But there's been a lot that have gone wide and have gone over. So Canada have to start getting these on target now and making Courtois work.
Yes, absolutely. As Belgium just have a throw-in to be taken by Timothy Castagna on this near side of the left as they attack from right to left in this second half. Canada in right, in left to right, all in white are Canada. Belgium in their red and black kit, red shirts, black shorts, black socks. As Witzel picks out Castagna down the line, it goes and Batshuayi. Michi Batshuayi will come forward and he'll find Jan Vertonghen, who will look to come forward with Alderweireld and then Duncan Almunier, who gets it back into Toby Alderweireld, who will find Jan Vertonghen once more. Jan Vertonghen down the line to Timothy Castagna. Plays in field, but loses out there. And now here's Jonathan David to holds up the play well, and Canada have got advantage. And he's played out to the left hand side. He comes to Esquerdo, strikes a goal and drags Nefer wide, and that's another chance which goes begging for Canada.
I just wonder if he was caught between crossing the ball across to David there, or whether he was actually shooting. I think he actually got caught in two minds there.
Yes, and this was a fantastic turn away by Jonathan David to get away from Onana. And I'm not going to say the classic Onana thing that people normally say when they mention his name. Or do you think I should say Paul?
No, you probably shouldn't, Russ. But he's not having a great season for Everton either, is he?
No, he's not. As is Junior Oilert for Canada down the left hand channel into the penalty area, taking on Dendonka. Still going Junior Oilert of Reading in the championship, but he gives the ball away, and Belgium can try and counter attack now. But the ball there from Kevin De Bruyne into the path of Eden Hazard was poor and is out of play. There's been 4 attempts that go by Belgium, 16 attempts from Canada in this game so far, and Belgium have scored one. And I think that first the goal was their only shot on target that they've had, and I'm not sure if they've had any more since the opening goal, but that's what I think it will be. There is some Women's Champions League action taking place tonight as well. That's just going underway. Chelsea against Real Madrid is one of the big ties there. We'll try and keep you updated as and when we can. And now Chelsea getting on in that game. If we do have any updates, we will let you know that one. But we're keeping our main focus here of the World Cup as Castagna plays the ball in field to Kevin De Bruyne for Belgium as he plays it out wide to the right hand side as he finds Onana, and now into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne into Axel Witsel. Witsel now to Onana. Onana plays it out wide there to Dendonka, and now Munier, and back to Dendonka, and there's Toby Alderweireld. They almost did that classic Onana thing, Paul. I almost said that classic thing there, but I just stopped myself in the last minute. I think I may need to do it just one time during this second half. Probably one when he gets touches the ball next, or when if he goes into the referee's book when the referee asks him what his name is, as it is De Bruyne across to Onana, who puts the ball in towards the penalty area, and that's a poor cross there from Onana I'm not sure if he was looking for Batshuayi or Castagna coming into the back post, but it's a poor bowling nevertheless there from Amadou Onana.
Yeah, it was a bad ball, but it was a little bit of sustained possession for Belgium that they've not had for large parts of this game. So, whilst the final product was bad there, they'll be happy that they've at least had some sustained possession. And I think the slow build up there, it was an unfortunate end to it, but it's good that there's some patience build up there.
Yes, and there's a player gone down there, and there's the yellow card for Thomas Meunier for a challenge on. I'm not sure which of the Canadian players have gone down there, but I know that Thomas Meunier has just been booked. We'll see who's gone down now. It's Junior Oilert, and I can see why that could have been a potential red if he was in the Premier League and for the flaring elbow if VAR saw it that way. But I don't think VAR have seen it that way. What did you make to that challenge there, Paul James?
Well, I think it was accidental. I don't think it was deliberate, but he leaned in with the elbow, and you're right. I've seen red cards for that in the Premier League.
Yes, and I'm surprised we didn't see another red card there as the free kick will be taken in a moment. Just waiting for things to be finalised with the situation as the free kick's going to be taken by a squirter who looks up to deliver this ball in towards the penalty area. Will he try and cross it to the right hand side or will he go down the left? Cross it to the right hand side, looking for the run of his centre back, one of the centre backs, Vittorio, who couldn't get or couldn't make that run in. And that was a wasted chance there for Canada, and John Erdman's side have wasted yet another golden opportunity to try and test Thibaut Courtois in the Belgian goal.
Yeah, that was a very poor free kick, wasn't it? It was just away from the forward there, and I can tell you that at the moment, I just feel that if Canada are going to get themselves back into this game, they've got to start. They've got to start taking these chances. They've got to start hitting the target.
Yes, and they've just won a corner there, a cheap corner given away by Leander Dendoncker, who thought he'd come off the junior Oiler there, but he been given as a corner kick to Belgium. So Belgium have to do some defending here, which they are going to do now. Is Alfonso Davis is going to cross the take? Jonathan David runs to the near post and gets there. And he's passed back to Alfonso Davis's paw, and Kevin De Bruyne can clear the ball away. But his clearance is poor as well, and was either played through a throw to Canada in line with their technical area, which John Edmund gives the ball straight to Johnston, and he will try and get the team moving quickly, but he's slowed it down because there were no movement from any Canadian players there, and still looking for some movement. He goes down the line instead, over the top there from Buchanan, away from Vertonghen. His cross is deep, but he's a poor one, and he goes behind for a goal kick, and he didn't even get over the he went straight over the crossbar and straight out after that lovely trickery there by Buchanan to get over Jan Vertonghen's head.
Yeah, he had a bit more time than he realised as well there, Ross. Like he seemed to rush that. Didn't need to do that. He could have held it up perhaps a little bit while he got some support in the box.
Yes, and there's a free kick there. No, Nana could be in trouble. No, Nana's been bumped there, and the referee's just asked him, "Oh, Nana, what's your name?"
No,
I've been waiting to use. I've been waiting to
I
use that
know.
for quite a bit, Paul. Amadou Nana goes into the book. He could have seen red there for a flailing arm there on
Well, let's have a look at that.
a square turn. That could have been a potential red card there for me.
No, no, no. He barely makes contact with his face. The Canadian player goes down there like he's been hit by a brick. He did have his arm out at him, but I think it was on the shoulder. The top of the arm maybe appeared to be connecting with his face a little bit, but not enough for that. Look at that. I would have booked the Canadian player as well for that for simulation. That was poor in my mind.
Yes, the free kick I can tell you what was poor from Canada was a free kick that followed that decision there. But Buchanan was doing well to try and get the ball back initially from Castagna, but then he lost out to Eden Hazard. But now Castagna's got the ball again, and that's a wonderful challenge there from Lara to get the ball back and get a throw for his side against Belgium. And Witzel and Lara just coming to a blow there with each other over that decision. But Johnson just gets on with it quickly. And there's an handball there by Toby Alderweireld, but the throw is being told to be taken again, because there's a substitution coming up here for Canada. As Lauren, who you was impressed, was supposedly in the starting lineup, Paul, is coming on now for Canada, and he's replaced Junior Oilers. What have you made to Oilers' performance this
Well, I
evening?
think I think Hoylett's played okay. He's not played badly, but I think it is the right time to bring on Kyle Lauren because they've not really been able to take advantage of the chances that they've had. But I think Hoylett has generally played quite well today. I don't think it's really anything to do with him, and it's just more tactical, to be honest.
Yes, and Kone's come on as well. The captain Hutchinson has gone off as well as Oilers, and Hutchinson not really going to the game much for me. Paul, would you agree with that
Yeah,
assessment?
he's not been in it much. It's sort of not. I mean, most of Canada's attacking players have come down the flanks, so he's not been in it much. And again, it's probably a tactical change now to try to give Canada the best chance while they're still getting a lot of possession, creating a lot of chances. Get somebody like Laren on to see if the goals can come.
Yes, so double change then for Canada just there. Belgium made a double change at half time as well. So both teams can make 5 substitutions in this game, and they've got 3 changes left each now as we see the ball played out wide to our left hand side. And there's Jonathan David who's attacking the penalty area in towards the penalty area. Still going Jonathan David. Push round ball against Jonathan David from the Belgian players. Nothing given by the referee. Is cleared away as now here comes On who's just come on there. And what do you make of these double changes? Are you surprised by any of the changes, Paul?
No, not really. I think the time is coming. They were almost at the hour mark. Canada have missed a hatful of chances. You want somebody on who can score goals. So Kyle Larin was a good option to come on for Hoylett. Hutchinson, as we already discussed, had been fairly quiet anyway. So perhaps to add a little bit of bite to that midfield.
Yes, so interesting to see how this goes well here as the free kick is about to be taken now for Canada. Over on that far side is Squirto to take the free kick, then Lauren inside the penalty area, and so too is Kern along with a few others. He goes in towards the back post, but Johnston can't go on end of it. It was too deep in the end, and that's another wasteful chance for Canada to try and take the lead here. To try and get
Yeah,
back
it
into the
was
game, should I say.
it was a poor ball again, and that's the second poor free kick he's had. Um, it's right that there was nobody going to get on the end of that. It was above everybody. There was far too much weight on the ball.
Yes, and Leandro Trossard of Brighton is about to come on for Belgium next time the ball goes out of place. Eden Hazard comes forward. I wonder if he'll be for Eden Hazard, who is not really going to the game much. For me, what have you made Hazard's performance, Paul?
He's been shut down mostly, but I think a lot of Aiden Hazard's uh, goals and chances come from the work of Kevin De Bruyne, who's also really been quiet today.
Yes, absolutely. Both of those two key players for Belgium being very, very quiet. I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them come off for Leandro Trossard. More likely, I think, if anyone were to come off, would probably be Eden Hazard, or it could even be Kevin De Bruyne. And we'll see who it is now. And I was right with the first one. It is Eden Hazard, the Belgium captain, coming off. And very interesting to see that Eden Hazard coming off. But like you pointed out, Paul has been very, very quiet and very ineffective in the game so far for Belgium. And they're looking to try and get a bit more impetus into the game and with the fresh legs in the frame of Leandro Trossard. Maybe the right idea to do so.
Yeah, I think they're just looking to shake things up front. We've seen Hazard's been a bit quiet, so perhaps to add a little impetus and idea changes in the front line, it's not a bad idea.
This is Lowry puts the ball in towards the edge of the penalty, and a striking on goal from Buchanan is over. and he's pushed his hands in his head initially, and that's a wasteful chance for Canada on 62 minutes. And Belgium are living dangerously and are being let off the hook. Quite a few have been let off the hook every time they've conceded a chance to Canada.
Yeah, way too many missed chances here. The finishing has been extremely poor. If there's one thing I can be critical of Canada's game today, is that their finishing has been poor. I wouldn't mind so much if they were at least forcing Thibaut Courtois into some saves, but they're not. These shots are going wayward, wide, and over, and the finishing has not been great for Canada today.
Yes, they need to be work on that if they are to get out of this group and get a World Cup goal, which they're still waiting for. Yet to score a goal in the World Cup they've qualified in. So
Well, I
interesting
think
to
we've
see how this
got.
goes. Throwing to Belgium over on that far side after Batshuayi did tremendous work down the right hand side. What were you about to say there, Paul James? Sorry.
No, that's okay. I think they've got a chance against the likes of Croatia and Morocco, but just to re-echo again, they've got to start taking these chances.
Yes, absolutely. It is. Thomas Meunier delivers the ball in and it's come off of Victoria and behind for a goal, behind for a corner kick. And Canada, under a bit of pressure at the moment, and just trying to shake off this pressure and try and get back on the front foot as Belgium just won a dangerous corner there, which will be taken by, if I just try and work out who he's going to be taken by, I think he's going to be taken by Kevin De Bruyne, who I think is going to cross there to take it. Onana's inside the penalty area, and the ball is in towards the penalty area. Out, comes towards Dendonko's penalised for a foul in there. Could be a booking there for Dendonka. Buchanan was about to get away and he pulls him back. And if that was a Premier League game, he would have been booked there, Dendonka. I'm surprised he's not been given a yellow card here tonight.
Yeah, it was a blatant foul, no attempt to make the ball. Certainly in the Premier League, you would expect a booking for that, but I've noticed in the World Cup a lot of them have been let go.
Yes, I've noticed that as well, Paul, and let's hope when we come towards the end of the game, which is way off yet. There's not a lot of injury time like we have seen towards it in a lot of these matches. As the ball's in towards the penalty area, Belgium appeal for a penalty, nothing given, as now Buchanan can come away for Canada over on that far side. Doing fairly well here, are Canada, considering they're still trailing by that goal to know, which was scored on 44 minutes through Michi Batshuayi. Was a one ball over the top, which split the three-man Canadian defence, Johnston, Victoria, and Miller, and allowed Batshuayi to score. Now Lauren just keeps the ball in play, pulls the ball back, edge of the box. He's still going now. Here's a square to edge of the penalty for Davis. Davis's pass is given away, and now Kevin De Bruyne. He's got the ball through to Batshuayi. Wonderful challenge back there. It was from Miller, and that's a fantastic challenge. And now Alfonso Davis has got Canada on the front foot once more. We'll get the post thoughts
Superb
on that
challenge.
challenge in a minute. I've just heard him say super. We'll get his rest of his thoughts on that challenge in a second as we see Alfonso Davis spread the ball out wide to Johnston. Johnston into the edge of the penalty area. And the striking on goal just wide from Laria, and that's just wide again from Canada. Wasteful chance again. But what about that challenge out the back from Miller to stop Belgium getting into scoring a second here, as we just see it on the monitor again here.
Yeah, if he gets that wrong, Ross, he's possibly looking at a red card. So it's a superb challenge, absolutely superb, beautifully timed. And yeah, so that was, and again, the ball went forward. Canada have an opportunity, but again, they're skewing it wide.
Yes, and now Kevin De Bruyne is coming forward. He's got men inside the penalty area. He goes back to Bashford on the edge of the box. And what another brilliant challenge again from Canada. Laria back there this time. And another fantastic challenge to keep his side still in this game.
Oh, that was a vital challenge because Batshuayi there has a clear shot on goal. There's nobody really near him apart from the player that made the tackle there. And it again, he has to time that right, and he does. He gets it right. It's a beautiful tackle.
Yes, corner into the penalty area then, and his header just flicked on towards the other side of the penalty, and now Jonathan David slips at the vital moment as he tried to come away. It's Trossard. Out wide to Axel Witsel, and Witsel will keep the ball in play. Back it goes to Batshuayi. Edge of the penalty area. No one inside the penalty area for him. So he goes to Onana. Now Meunier. Now De Bruyne. And now here's Trossard on the edge of the penalty area. Out wide to this left hand side, just on the edge inside the box now is Batshuayi. Batshuayi is still going on the left hand side, comes in towards the centre, still going Batshuayi, and Canada get enough bodies around the ball to clear away and put pressure on Thibaut Courtois now. They're getting more men up in support of the striker who's up there on his own, which I think was Jonathan David up there on his own to try and cause a bit of problems. No, it wasn't. In fact, it was in fact Lauren, and Lauren just almost got the ball back for Canada, and it would have been one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and would probably have expected him to at least test him there. But Canada still trail by a goal to nil. If you're just tuning into us here on the commentary, up 68 and a bit minutes gone, almost 68 and a half minutes gone. It remains Belgium 1, Canada nil in the World Cup Group F encounter. As Alderweireld finds Dendoncker, how wide it goes to Meunier, into Onana, what's my name, as he finds Trossard. And now here's Kevin De Bruyne from Witzel's pass, and a poor ball from Kevin De Bruyne again, looking to pick out Batshuayi. And that's about a second time Kevin De Bruyne has played that poor pass there for Belgium. He's not having a very good game like he normally does for Belgium, is it, Paul?
No, he's been kept quiet today, and he's not at his best for sure, and that's fortunate for Canada. But yeah, he's not been playing well today.
Yes, absolutely. We see Belgium trying to come forward, but it's been given away as here comes Belgium again as they try and build up from the back. Here's Alderweireld across now into Dendoncker. Dendoncker has to go back to his goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, and Courtois will clear left-footed onto the left-hand side as Timothy Castagne just gets an end of it. That's a super pass from Thibaut Courtois, but then the pass from Castagne for De Bruyne was poor, and they put Belgium back on the back foot and kind of on the front foot. But the challenge across there from Dendoncker stops that attack, which Lauren was on, and that could have been a dangerous one if Lauren just managed to get past Dendoncker there to have go through on goal. But the throw has been taken quickly, and Canada have possession again. Is with Kerr now wide it goes now, and here comes Canada cutting in his field. It's long to Kerr, and Kerr just keeps out of possession. He almost lost it as he almost saw the ball go out of play, but that's a poor passes. But wonderful challenge again by Canada to keep hold of possession, and that was a wonderful challenge. In the ball down the field, looking for the run of Jonathan David is good out by Toby Alderweireld. But Belgium and Canada giving sloppy possession away and making sloppy passes. And that's another sloppy pass by Alphonso Davies. And now Kevin De Bruyne's away from his man. He's got Batshuayi on the far side if he can find him. Wonderful ball from Kevin De Bruyne. Batshuayi fetches it down with a poor touch from Batshuayi, and he goes out of play for a goal kick. For a throw-in, should I say, to Canada. But Michy Batshuayi, poor control, hits him on his shin and just goes out. And Canada back in possession at the back with Victoria, and Canada can try and come forward again.
Yeah,
And
it's unfortunate for Batshuayi because I think he's definitely been Belgium's best player. He's been the biggest threat. But he's that's a poor ball because that was the best ball that De Bruyne has done all the game.
yes, he was the best ball Kevin De Bruyne's done all game, as Paul Riley points out. As a free kick being given against Batshuayi for a foul on Miller, and Miller's done well to win that free kick, and it's done well against Batshuayi tonight. As you said, Batshuayi's probably been Belgium's best player, but Miller is made sure he's been in the contest, he's been in the battle, and he's come off well Miller at times against Batshuayi, really, hasn't he, PJ?
Oh yeah, he's made some fantastic tackles, match-saving tackles, which had he got wrong could have meant that this game is beyond Canada's reach.
Yes, absolutely. And now Canada back in possession with Victoria into Let's go to and back to Victoria. Now across now to Johnston. But Johnston can't get there as Castagna does so, and Castagna gets there again. Into Trossard. Leandro Trossard as well. Into Kevin De Bruyne. And now Michy Batshuayi was linked with Nottingham Forest on transfer deadline day. Didn't go to the City ground in the end. Trossard on the edge of the box. Still going Trossard with fantastic defending yet again from Canada to thwart the Belgian attack. Belgium still trying to create more goals, but it's Canada who have caused them a few more problems as that ball just trickled out and play for a goal kick to Belgium as Canada tried to get away down the side. You just see that ball in again to Batshuayi. That's a wonderful sliding challenge back there by Laria, and he had to turn that one to perfection. Otherwise, Belgium would have had a clean shot on goal and probably been 2-0. As Belgium make a substitution, which sees Laria make way, and he's been replaced by the number 3, Sam Akadura. And what have you made to Laria's performance today, Paul? Because for me, I think
Well,
he's done a good, he's put in a good shift.
oh yeah, he has. As a matter of fact, he has, and I think he's currently on loan right now at Toronto FC from Nottingham Forest. But I think Forest fans can be will be quite pleased with what they've seen of him. And but I'll be honest with you. I mean, when you're looking at Canada, you're looking at their work ethic has been fantastic in this game, especially defensively. And the effort that these players have put in, they've certainly got an awful lot of positives to take from this game, whatever the result might be.
Yes, absolutely, Paul, and I would agree with that statement as well. As Belgium try to come forward, looking for Batshuayi, but that pass is over it, and Canada just get the ball back and just defend really, really well in Belgium. Maybe leading 1-0, but they haven't had it all their own way this evening. Canada have given them a few problems and caused them a few headaches as well, and caused a few problems there as we watch this game unfold as they try and come forward again as they. And I'm glad, Paul, that you're with me today because it means when I've got someone with me, I won't go 0-0. So I'm trying to get somebody with me for every single game I do for between now and the end of the tournament.
Yeah, you don't want any more nil-nils. They're not fun.
Yes, and I'm still blaming that 0-0 from earlier on between Mexico and Croatia on our good friend Luke Turton, who has not been feeling that the best today. So it could be a viral infection, or it could have the dreaded C19. So all the best to Lou from everyone in the commentary. I hope you're feeling better soon, my friend, and hopefully we'll have you back in the com box very soon alongside one of our brilliant, talented commentators working alongside us. As here's the ball into us, Lauren, who can't get a striking on goal inside the penalty area for Canada. And Canada coming forward again, and they work too well. Here's Rorio on the inside the Belgium half as Canada keeping the ball inside there at the moment. It is Agubemeng. Alugubere. And now, of course, now it is Cohn. And Cohn does well into the centre circle for his teammates there, which I think was Buchanan. And this goes back to the goalkeeper, Boyan, who clears it across to the left hand side and finds Miller, who's played well today for Canada. Will inside the final 14 minutes of the game, he remains Belgium 1, Canada 0. And Paul, I must say to you, and I'll say to you right now, get your thinking cap on, because in around about 10 or so minutes' time, I'll be coming to you to find out who your man of the match is in this game.
All right. Yes, I've got a few ideas, Ross. I'm not going to name them now. I'm going to make you wait. But yeah, I've got a few ideas.
Yes, and we'll watch this attack go, and then we'll go back to Nicholas's comment, which is a response to me saying, "Oh Nana, what's my name?" regarding that song, which was by Rihanna, and it's a very good song as well. As Canada just try and come forward, to get an equaliser against Belgium. As the ball is played towards our left hand side where Arugbang is out there waiting as the substitution about to be made for Belgium. We see Lois Openda come on, I believe it is, and he's Michi Bats. But what I will tell you is Michi Batshuayi is the man going off, and he scored the only goal of the game, Paul James, so far. But what else has anything impressed you about Michi Batshuayi's performance today?
Well, his movement, his ability on the ball, he's caused the Canadian defence some issues. They've handled him quite well, but he's definitely been Belgium's most effective player. I'm guessing at this point they're resting him, but they are defending. I've noticed that they're defending much deeper now, Belgium, as this second half goes on. But yeah, he's had an excellent game today as Michi Batshuayi.
Yes, fantastic game, Michi Batshuayi. Could be a contender for Paul's Player of the Match, which is sponsored by the brilliant commentary services. If you all wanted to get involved with us, you can tweet us at Commentary Live 1. And if you want to find us on Facebook, it's facebook.com/the Commentary Hub. And we're going back to that Onana point. Paul Witter said, Onana, what's my name, when Onana got booked. Nicholas Jones has said, I remember hearing what's my name on the radio. You mentioning that track brings back memories. So I brought back some memories for Paul for that song. Have you heard of that song before, Paul?
I haven't, but I'm not a huge fan of Rihanna, so that's probably the reason why.
Yes, possibly the reason why, Paul. I'll probably have to play for you one day. We're not right now, as we've got a football match to cover. As here comes Canada on the right hand side. It is Johnston with the ball towards the penalty, and then there from Lorien and a save by Thibaut Courtois. And that's another chance for Canada, which goes back in. And another dangerous opportunity, which they can't take off, which they can't take there, Paul James.
Yeah, but I mean, at least he hit the target with this one and forced Thibaut Courtois into a save. A save he'd expect to make, but it at least forced the goalkeeper to work.
Yes, as Trossard's ball forward is cut out, and Canada will try and come forward again. They're looking for a throw, and it looks like Canada are about to make a double substitution here with Osorio and Miller about to come on, and it's number 11 Buchanan off for Miller, and it's a square total number 7 coming off as well. What have you made to those two performances tonight?
Well, Miller's been very, very well. Done very, very well. He's worked hard on the around the edge of the box, making some fine challenges. Um, they've at this point they've done a really good job, and I think again it's just a question of rest at this point now as the players get more and more tired.
Yes, and there's a booking for Alfonso Davis for a challenge on Leandro Trossard. There, and a bad challenge it was from Alfonso Davis in the end. So he goes into the referee's no book. He's the second player to go into the no book there, and be interesting to see what the referee, if the VAR will get involved in that, because they can get involved if it's yellow, because if they think it's a red card offence.
Oh, there's the studs up. The studs are up there. He was lucky he didn't connect too much with the player. And I think that's probably what'll keep him on a yellow as opposed to it being switched to a red. But whenever you go in with your studs up, you're running a risk.
Absolutely, Paul, running a risk there in the end for Davis, as another free kick's been given to Belgium, this time for a foul by number 23, Miller, who's just come onto the field of play. It'd be interesting to see what happens there as the Canadians just have possession, try and work a decent opener to try and score in this game to get back on level terms, which is something, in my opinion, Paul, is that they deserve. There a bit
Yeah,
of a
I think
shot comes
so.
in from the edge of the box, which is being blocked, and now Belgium will try and come away, but they've got ball up the back. Canada will come back to your point. I mean, their ball as Miller comes forward in towards the penalty for David. Goes beyond him, and Laurie can't get there. And Belgium can come away with possession, but Canada quickly back onto the ball as Johnston gives the ball away this time, though, and now is a brilliant run from Openda. He can come forward now, Openda, still going Openda, and he goes down, and there is a challenge, and there is a yellow card for Johnston, and and Alistair Johnston is the next player from Canada to go into the referee's notebook, and that was a bad challenge there as well.
It was. Now, fortunately, he had a covering defender coming across, but it's a poor challenge and rightly earns a yellow card.
Yes, and Canada, of course, Belgium quite a few problems this evening. Poland, look, with 83 minutes on the clock, what are you expecting to see from Canada going into the closing stages?
Well, I think they're going to have to try to keep pushing to try to get something from this game. The chances, in my opinion, have become fewer in the last 10, 15 minutes, as it appears to me that Belgium are defending deeper now. And they're making it harder for Canada to create the chances, get inside the penalty area. And the possession has also swung a bit more in Belgium's favour as well.
Yes, and I'm just seeing that challenge again from Johnston, and it's lucky that he only caught him with one of his boots because it was a scissor action challenge that he did Johnston there, and he was very lucky not to get a red card, in my opinion. If he connected with both of them, I think potentially could have seen red, but it's a free kick to Belgium. Kevin De Bruyne standing over this. He's got Timothy Castagne who'll try and talk to him, or he'll leave that for a moment. But Castagne runs backwards just for one final minute, and he's just getting some just that's between instructions as David and Miller, the two-men wall for Canada, a rest of them marking up inside the penalty area in case it's a cross, which it is a cross. There's an header just over the bar there from Leandro Dendoncker, and that is over the bar, and that's a glorious opportunity which goes begging.
Yeah, again, he just doesn't get his head over it enough. But otherwise, he's got a free header there. Got to be looking at hitting the target.
Yes, got to be looking to hitting the target there, like Paul James has just said. In a couple of minutes, Paul will be asking you for your player that will watch this attack first, and then we'll come to see De Bruyne strike is over the bar, and a wayward effort in the end from Kevin De Bruyne. Well, that effort goes over, and Belgium have not been able to score there, but Canada's just on the attack here, so we'll come back to get Paul's player of the match in a moment. Next time the ball goes out of play, we'll get the player of the match from Paul for you, just so we can hear who he's picked as his player of the match, and then you can let us know if you agree with Paul's choice for player of the matches. Lawrence just sends it over, and it's just wide in the end from Lauren, and that's another good opportunity there from Canada, PJ.
Yeah, this has been the story of the whole game. Getting the ball into the box, the headers and shots when they've got into the box have been wayward. Um, that is what Canada will need to work on for the next game. The positives out of this game is that they have worked so hard. They have created chances. There've been no problem there. They've really ran Belgium close today. And we're talking about, in a top 5 team in the world here. So Canada's got a lot of positives they can take from this game.
They have indeed, Paul. And while we wait for this throw to be taken by Belgium, can I just ask you, my friend, who is your player of the match, sponsored by the brilliant commentary services?
Michi Batshuayi, if I pronounce that right. Me and my names.
As we'll get that confirmed on the screen in a minute, as is Leandro Trossard inside the penalty. Trossard's still going, but he runs out of play for a goal kick. And why have you given Michi Batshuayi your player of the match today, Paul?
Well, I think he's been the biggest threat for Belgium. With Eden Hazard kept quiet, Kevin De Bruyne kept quiet. I think he has been the biggest threat. He's got the goal. He's really made the Canadian defence work hard. They've had to keep a close eye on him. For me, definitely Belgium's best player.
Yes, and I'm just looked to the stats there, Paul, as well. Canada with 21 shots compared to Belgium's 7, and they've had 3 of their 21 on target. To Belgium have had 2 on target, and you would have thought it would 1-0 Canada if you've just tuned on and seen the, or if you've not watched the game and just seen the stats, you would have think Canada would have won the game if you just looked to the stats. But that's not how football works. It's about who puts the ball in the back of the onion net.
That's it, exactly. And it's actually a very terrible statistic for Canada because the shots on goal with the amount of attempts that they had is very, very wayward there. There's a huge variable.
Yes, absolutely. As Witzel has just been spoken to by the referee just there. As Canada just win that throw in, and he's over on that far side. There's a no foul there. As the player goes down for Canada, we'll see how he is in a moment. As it's Belgium trying to get on the attack, but Jonathan David back there to help out defending. He was Miller down. I think it was Miller who was down over on that far side, isn't it? And now here is Alfonso Davis, who's done well for Canada today, and a ball out wide. We'll watch the ball coming towards the penalty area, headed away by Toby Alderweireld, and Belgium will try and come forward. And there's a header back to Miller, who defends really, really well. As Belgium will just have to do some final defending as Cohn plays the ball out wide to the left hand side of Miller. Down the line, he goes in across by Adugabe, wins the corner for Canada in the 89th minute. And while we wait for this corner to be taken, what have you made to the game overall, Paul, this evening?
Well, it's actually been a very absorbing game. I don't think we've had too many great games in this World Cup, but this has been a really absorbing game. It's been entertainment. It's been entertaining. Canada have really made that so, and it's been enjoyable to watch.
Yes, and that corner for Canada there, as Paul just giving his opinions on the game overall, was very, very poor in the end from Miller. And that was a poor effort in the end. And is Miller with an AR at the end, and the Miller with number 4 is with ER at the end of his name as well. We'll wait and see how many minutes of stoppage time will be coming up shortly. See Romelu Lukaku on the picture. Some say it looks like the rapper storms him, which I can see where they get that from. And if it, just before we get a confirmation of how many minutes are added on, how many would you say, Paul James?
Oh well, if the first half is anything to go by, probably about 10.
We'll try and get confirmation of how many is going to be added on in a moment as Belgium just win a corner after Meunier's shot was deflected behind for a corner. And we've got 5 minutes at a time at the end of this game between Belgium and Canada, and we've played 25 seconds of that. Can Belgium get a second and pull this game to bed, which would be very harsh on Canada if they were to do that?
Yeah, I think so. I think a two-goal defeat would be very, very harsh. I think Canada have earned a point out of this game, to be honest. But as you said, rightly said before, it doesn't always work that way, does it?
No, it is coming to with the ball into the penalty after a short corner with Trossard, with Leandro Trossard, and he's straight down the throat of Milan Borjan, and now he can fetch Canada away with Agbain on the right hand side, coming into the midfield there, and there is Cohn, and now Johnston. Johnston across now, and Canada will just come forward trying to get the equalising goal, which is richly deserved from them. Here is Cohn again to Johnston. Johnston coming forward in towards the penalty area. The cross comes, header towards goal, and he comes off Dendonka and into the arms of Thibaut Courtois, who just dives to the ground and just claims it and makes sure the chances and time ticks away from Canada to stop them from getting an equaliser against Belgium, who at the moment lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, imagine now a top five team in the world having to kill time like this. It's a testament to the way Canada have played today.
Absolutely, Paul. Absolutely, my friend. As the ball is forward by Vittorio out wide there, and he can't pick out a teammate. Is now Canada just comes forward again. He's over on that far side with Miller. Miller inside the penalty area. Miller in towards the penalty area. Shot, his cross was blocked, and now here's Leandro Trossard breaking away for Belgium over halfway. Down on this left hand side, he'll be probably run to the corner flag, or it might be too early to do that. So instead, he goes back to Kevin De Bruyne to keep the possession ticking for Belgium and keeping the ball away from Belgium. Here's Onana, who plays a nice 1-2 there with the centre back. Dendoncker now Alderweireld. Back to Dendoncker now. Axel Witsel does well here and is out of play for a throw to Canada, to Belgium against Canada, should I say. As the time is slowly ticking down for Canada to get anything out of this game, which will be a harsh result if it stays like this. If you're tuning into us right now, you've missed a fantastic game of football, which has seen Belgium lead 1-0 since the 44th minute through Michy Batshuayi, as Belgium try and add a second here now through Openda. Openda finds Onana to Witsel to find De Bruyne, and now Timothy Castagne will come forward. Good play this from Timothy Castagne as he finds Kevin De Bruyne on the edge of the box into Opana, whose ball runs into the arms of Milan Borjan, who clears long downfield, looking for Lauren, who pushes Vertonghen over. But Belgium just play on as he's with Thibaut Courtois in the Belgian goal, all in yellow. There's a throw now to Vertonghen to Castagne to get the ball forward into the path of Kevin De Bruyne. Back into Castagne and forward towards Leandro Trossard, who set off a bit late there. That's why he didn't get a clean connection. There's a Canadian player down in Kamal Miller, who came across and got caught after clearing the ball away by Leandro Trossard. And John Erdman will be delighted with his side's performance. Just fell short. There'll be a lot of positives to take into the next couple of games. We've got all the games coming up here on the commentary over the next few days. We've got plenty of matches. We've got 2 games to bring you tomorrow as well as today that I brought you today. So some more great commentaries tomorrow on the channel. We've got Switzerland, Cameroon. We've got Uruguay, South Korea. We've got Portugal, Ghana, and we've got Brazil, Serbia. All to bring you here on the commentary hub tomorrow evening. As Belgium will have to do some defending towards the end of this game, as Canada have got possession. It's Osorio coming forward. Lovely run from Osorio. And now here is a ball out wide. Well, there is a full-time whistle. A complete ball was played out wide. The full-time whistle goes, and Belgium have beaten Canada by a goal to nil. It's a harsh result for Canada, who played really, really well and deserved to get at least a point out of this game. But Belgium ungone since the 44th minute to claim all 3 points in the match. And in their opening Group F encounter, it's finished Belgium 1, Canada 0. And we're going to have the final thoughts from Paul James.
Well, Belgium were definitely below par, definitely with Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard not really firing on all cylinders. It's an off good sign, though, that if you play bad and you're still able to win. Canada threw everything at it. Their work ethic was fantastic. They were working hard defensively when Belgium had the ball to win it back. It was a type of commitment I wish I'd seen this morning from Germany. But they were outstanding today. Were Canada, and they can only look back on the missed chances. That will be the regret for Canada today, the missed chances.
Yes, absolutely, Paul. So that brings our end to our World Cup coverage for this Super Wednesday. We'll be back for Super Thursday tomorrow, and then Fantastic Friday, Super Saturday, and Newsfest Sunday, but hopefully not with the football scores. Thunderous Thursday coming up tomorrow with 4 great matches, and I'll just tell you who's going to be guiding you through those matches every step of the way then. So at 10 o'clock tomorrow, you'll have Nicholas Jones on, who will have Switzerland against Cameroon for you. Then at 1 o'clock, join myself as I guide you through Uruguay against South Korea. At 4 o'clock, join my esteemed colleague who's alongside me today, Paul James, as he brings you Portugal's first game against Ghana. And I talk you through Brazil's first game against Serbia. Then we go back round to Group A and B from Friday. And then the final group games start on Tuesday. So, more action-packed games coming up. Nicholas will guide you through one game tomorrow, one game on Friday, before he takes a well-deserved break on Saturday, which will be well-deserved. But for myself and from Paul, we'll leave you with Michy Batshuayi's goal the difference as Belgium beat Canada by a goal to nil in their opening match of Group F in the World Cup. He finished Belgium 1, Canada nil. Thank you very much for listening. Until tomorrow morning, good night and have a great rest of your Wednesday.